All right, how is everybody doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Hopefully you had a good day yesterday, particularly if it's a holiday that you celebrate. I know I don't anymore. Used to, but you reach a certain point where start getting a little bit older and I just slows my brain down and I can't have that. But here we are. We're ready. What are you doing to level up? We're going to be checking out the charts. Look at what's going on. Look at where it's going. We just had a big dip throughout the day. We're going to see, are we going to bounce back yet? What's going on with that? Real quick quote of the day. There's no harm in hoping for the best as long as you're prepared for the worst. Now, this one, I don't know. This quote came from Stephen King. I'm not a big Stephen King fan, and I bet everybody and their mother said this at some point or in some kind of iteration here. But if you don't know what the picture in the bottom right is right there, that is the Earth's magnetic field. And why am I putting a picture of that? Well, we'll get to that here in a minute. But for the moment, let's hit up the charts real quick, because I know that's what you came for, and you didn't come to hear me preach, but I'm going to preach at you anyways, but it's some good stuff. So, what are you doing yourself to level up? What are you doing to upgrade yourself? What are you doing to get better? And I'm not even just talking about trading, but obviously that's a big part of it, especially for this channel. What are you doing? Are you doing your homework? Are you practicing? What's the plan here? Are you getting a little practice count? Are you paper trading? Are you like starting off small? Are you going all in, just going completely ham on it? Let me know what are you doing to get better at it? Are you watching various channels? Are you learning some of the drawing tools, learning how to do TA? Are you putting the money up to get Market Cipher or some training or something like that? But all right, here we are. We're on the 12-hour looking at this. This is Bitcoin, and I know it looks a little bit like a mess, but you can see we came up, started getting a lot of resistance up here at this support resistance little rectangle right there that has been going pretty well for a while. I have not adjusted it. We had it there, we had it there, we had it there, and we're seeing it back over here again. And if you zoom in a little more, you can see, we kind of wicked up almost to this little resistance level that we had drawn in there a while back. I believe that one comes off of the what was it? The fixed, got my brain fart. Fixed range volume profile. That's it. I always forget the range word. And then we also have this little moving average up here, which I don't know if it's a 200, but it's a bigger one for sure. I mean, you can see, the upper lower bands of the ribbon right here. And we came all the way up to that guy there. Maybe if I get bored in a minute, we'll figure out what moving average that was. But man, if it did not hit it on the nose. But looking, you can see where, we got this gigantic price movement just within this one candle. Again, 12 hours, so a lot going on there. And then this one, pretty much, the bulk of the day's action today was going down. So we got a nice big red candle. And if you look down here on Market Cipher B, you can see where it looks like we might be getting a little trigger wave action going on here. We shall see. But, we're still at the top. We just got the red dot. We just crossed down with the VWAP right here, and you can see that money flow is heading down. Now it's not as low as the previous little this previous little nub right there, so it is still technically higher, but overall, I mean, if you're looking at big movements like this, we could potentially still be heading lower from here. So that's the one big thing I'm looking at. But you also got to remember, you want to check multiple time frames. And just looking at this, you're going to see some conflicting, analysis, some conflicting indicators as you flip. So come over here to the daily, and you can see we're actually kind of in the green coming up still. Rolling over, not going super sharp to the upside, but not terribly different from this first little bit we had right here. The only thing different really is the price action itself. You can see here we had like a sustained move to the upside, whereas here we got rejected and came back to this trend line right there. And the VWAP is about to cross to the downside. Matter of fact, if we look at the numbers, what are we at here? 1.4. So it is damn near there. Not to say we can't bounce off, but taking things in a stride, we're kind of going down at the moment. Now, if we move to, let's say, the 4 hour, You know, 11, 18, 19. DBSI still got some pressure to the downside. You know, our VWAP going sideways down here on the bottom. You know, 4 hour, the VWAP, it can be a little iffy with, you know, that, because if you look here, see where we came down and then we reversed. So technically the bottom was back here. And you can see we reversed while still on the downside. So when the VWAP was heading up, we were heading up on the price. So we're kind of just getting this sideways action right now. If this does start picking up, then I would likely expect to continue that trend to the upside. And again, that would keep this at a higher low. So I'd say that would be a good indication that, you know, we're bouncing back off of that long downtrend. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. We did have this, you know, a whole bunch of weakness in the middle. We pointed it out at the time. And then when we had this little run up, it wasn't as bad, but it just stayed split. And then you notice as soon as we turned to the downside, those RSIs came back together. So it's still stronger to the downside. So we'll see what's going on with that. Another thing that I literally just noticed now that is interesting. You can see where the VWAP was here and where it is down here. You know, we're downtrending on the VWAP right here. You know, despite price going up. And again, you know, technically, you know, if you're looking for a divergence, a regular divergence, you're looking at the top side right here. And you can see we do have bearish divergence on the VWAP right there. Didn't get it on the momentum, but, you know, saw it on this RSI, but not this RSI. So it's there. You know, it's there at this point. It's just a matter of whether or not that's all we're going to see from it. So long term, looking at it, we'll have to go up to some even higher time frames to try to judge that. But let's go to the 1 hour. Let's see what it's doing at the moment, because, you know, nothing's going to happen on the higher time frames without it happening on the lower ones first. So let's see where we're going at the moment. RSIs pinching together, pointed sideways though, kind of interesting. More likely than not, I'm thinking this is just going to be a flip. I mean, it could stay together. If it stays together, you know, obviously we would want it to head up. Be a crazy little reversal in the RSI right there. But, you know, it's possible. It almost looks like it wants to, you know, continue along the bottom for a little bit. But we'll see. Again, I'm leaning more toward a flip. Like, can we find, like, we had a flip right there. So, you know, it's not an uncommon thing to see. But more importantly, you know, money flow, it's about at that 3/4 mark, maybe a little bit past. You know, we had all this just from this bit of, you know, downside action on the money flow. It's starting to clip out sideways, but I think that's just a temporary thing. You know, DBSI looks decent enough for that situation, you know, 10, 12, 13. So, I mean, it could just slow boat it for a little while until we get some volume. And it could just keep chugging. Little engine that could, getting its ass on up the hill right there. Which frequently happens too. You know, I don't mean to make it sound like it's some anomaly. And since we haven't had a ton of bullish strength for a while now, you know, you look at dip like this and dip like that, and what happened, you know, we didn't get a big old, you know, V-shaped bounce back to the upside. It was like I was talking about, we were just kind of chugging it out. Just pushing, trying to get it up the hill. Started off with a similar situation here before we finally did get some of that volume and, you know, shot upward and came back to our previous levels. So it is early in the game right now, looking very reminiscent, you know, of these situations. again, you know, the money flow worries me a little bit, not gonna lie. And an interesting part as well, we really didn't have any big, you know, VWAP divergences coming across here. So could be a bullish sign right there. You know, we did have this little bit between the momentum waves, which clearly that played out. Also, you know, just looking back in time a little bit here, trigger wave, you know, played out beautifully. So just keep that in mind when we're looking at, you know, those higher time frames and we're seeing a potential trigger wave going the other direction. But let's see, 40-minute, you know, money flow looking terrible. No other way to say it. Money flow is looking terrible. You know, VWAP did finally cross back up, but it's got no nuts. It's curling over, looking like it wants to die. You know, RSIs are tight together, are pointed to the upside, but yeah, they keep just, you know, they keep curling back a little bit. That was exaggerated. So we'll see. But, you know, I would like to see, my bullish case is to see, you know, this RSI stay tight together, keep going to the upside. And at the very least, I would be watching probably for something like this area, unless we really got some volume. So we got our spider line right here. That'd be the first place I'm looking. And then, of course, back up at this rectangle right here that has been a solid support and resistance level for, I don't even know how long now, over a month, at least a couple months. So not to be trifled with. But looking, what do we got on the DBSI here? You know, starting to weaken off a little bit. Again, it's sideways at the moment. You know, just at the current time, what is it, like 10:30 p.m. for me, Central here. You know, come down to the 24. You know, it's getting flaky, you know. Just zigzagging, not a lot of volume. So, I mean, it's trying to stay up. It's trying to, you know, stay up from this bottom, but it's going to need some help. It's going to need a little booster seat here. Somebody's going to have to, you know, slip some money in there, keep it going. Yeah, money flow in the red, but kind of sideways from here. Not really going down. I mean, even potentially coming back up. Come down to the 15. You know, now you start getting into these really ugly money flows. And man, I've been watching that one pretty much all day. And you can see where we were just on the downhill track. And at the moment, looks like we have come back to the lowest point right now. So, you know, being this deep in the red money flow, even though, you know, we are kind of in a micro uptrend, it's just pulling it back. It put concrete galoshes on it. So let's see, we're starting to even get a little split in the RSIs here. Also not the greatest. You know, VWAP had a nice trend upward for a little bit, which again, you know, you can see this. You can see this little upward trend here, even as we were coming down. All right, that if you didn't watch any of the divergence videos, specifically the VWAP divergence videos, so far that is about one of the best reversal indicators that I have found yet. And then you couple that with some bullish divergence down here on the momentum waves, so you're getting this uptrend in the VWAP. Especially, it seems like we get, you know, these three waves as well. But once you see the confirmation in the momentum wave, that's about the best reversal sign that I could possibly think of, or that I've seen right there. You know, you're not trusting your gut. You're not just saying, hey, we got a big red candle. hopefully that's the bottom. I mean, you're not winging it. You're not trying to catch the falling knife. It's about as good as it's going to get. I mean, you know, short of some billionaire calling you up and saying, hey, we're about to start going long. I mean, but all right, so that's what's going on Bitcoin. If you jump over to Ethereum, it's the same. Same. You know, we've got these levels right here for this macro fib retracement. And generally kind of staying in this channel for a little while now. I kind of left this line on here because it, you know, it was playing out till it broke through. Now we kind of have a new parallel down here, which this would actually be a good situation to draw a pitchfork. But I'm not trying to spend too much time drawing pretty pictures right now. Just want to give you guys a heads up of what was going on. Again, you can see it in the money flow. And just to show over here, you know, on the Ethereum money flow, we got this ugly little situation going on right there. You know, poked into the green for one candle and took a hard bounce off the zero line. Not overly confidence inspiring. You know, same thing. RSI splitting as it went to the upside. So that's what's kind of going on with the big boys in on the charts here. So the topic that I was going to talk about a little bit here on, you know, aside from doing a little bit of analysis, seeing what's going on here, is, you know, what are you doing to better yourself? And we've talked plenty about, you know, how to better yourself at trading. So we've gone over that, you know, in a decent amount of detail. We got plenty more coming, but you know, trading is not all of life. And regardless of whatever you got going on with your trading, at the end of the day, it's your ass that's sitting in the seat. And if you're not taking care of that ass, and I don't mean that literally, I mean taking care of yourself, then it is definitely going to not only affect your trading, your decision making, your attitude, your mood, your emotions. It's also going to affect your just overall general plan in life. You know, if you're not taking care of your health, you're probably not going to have that get up and go, that ambition to want to sit down, do the analysis, look at the charts, you know, stick in the trades. So, you know, looking over here at the coin market cap, you could see Tron today pumping off of the news of their new stable coin, the, what is it, USDD, decentralized USD. I'm kind of excited to see it because I know, you know, Tether works well off of the Tron network doing the dollar transfers. So I'll be curious to see how Tron's does. Hopefully, you know, it's already has a huge amount of backing. Like they're putting a boatload of money in the reserves. So we'll see. I mean, potentially maybe we have the, you know, the new stable coin that we've all been wanting that is a little bit higher trust due to the less centralization aspect of it. Could be awesome. You know, and interestingly, at a time when USDC is starting to get some big boy backers. So we got us a little competition going here. We got, you know, 3 of them going neck and neck between Tether, USDC, and now USDD. Who will take the lead? Let's see. Ethereum Classic. What's it doing? About the. Is that, no? That's not even the same. That's worse, isn't it? No, that's about the same. Let's do the 1 hour here. We'll bounce around the 1 hours. Ethereum Classic. You know, it feels like it's kind of about to roll over on these. I would not at all be surprised if we continue to the downside. Ripple. Oh, Ripple looking ugly. Definitely not taking this dip very well. Look at that money flow. Yeah, Ripple's going to keep going down. Man, look at Luna. Luna is braving the storm over here. It's like the little sword fisherman boat from The Perfect Storm, just bouncing around, sticking it out, going up and down them waves, still not getting beat, still not pulling all the way back. Now, granted, it didn't work out so well for the Gloucestermen, but Luna's holding its own. It's holding up strong. What's Polkadot doing? You know, obviously it had a bigger dip. And we still have, you know, general uptrend. So, you know, not the end of the world. Not the greatest on the money flow. But it's not down and out yet. It's not a TKO. It's not laying down on the mat yet. It's a little wobbly. It's getting a little wet noodle knees going, but we'll see if she bounces back. Ada pulling back a little bit further already. But, you know, so as far as like taking care of yourself, and on top of that, because, you know, having your mental health in order affects every freaking thing you do. And it will absolutely affect your trading. And it absolutely will affect your financial situation because, you know, if you're not feeling it, you don't have that ambition, you don't have the, what's the word I'm looking for here? You know, you don't have the drive to keep going. You don't have that, friggin' brain fart, that stick-to-itiveness. I've heard it. Yeah, I remember that, but I forget the damn word. You know, the dedication to stay at it, to keep training, keep getting better, keep learning more, then, you know, eventually you're going to bow out and you're going to lose money and you're going to get all pissed off and you're going to be resentful and you're going to stop. And then, you know, eventually when things are booming and the bull market's back on and you're looking at it, you're going to be like, damn, like, why did I quit? But, you know, keep in mind, like they say, you know, what is it? 90% of all people that get into trading quit after the first year. And then probably another 7 to 8%, you know, after, you know, a couple of years. So if you don't want to be part of that 98% that, you know, walks off with your tail between your legs, then you got to work for it. Look at VeChain though. VeChain looking nice. That's the nicest one we've seen yet. That's what I'm talking about. I'm starting to get a couple red candles, probably mostly just due to those right there. So it looked like VeChain caught a little bit of volume. We'll see where it goes from here. Not looking terrible. You know, money flow still coming down, of course, but, you know, turning sideways. RSI is looking pretty good. Ugly. Standard. Audio getting a little push. It's got some high DBSI numbers, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Could be, you know, it's getting a good amount of bullish pressure, has a little pullback, fakes everybody out, and then that pressure plays out. Starting to see that one happen. That you know, that I wasn't seeing happen in the past with numbers like that. Yeah, card testing, not all that special. We got Adam pushing nice. Shit, Adam's got some nice numbers going right there. 14, 15, 16. RSI's already been together, going strong. So Adam's got some strength going right there. We got Matic. Yeah, Matic, same thing. We got Avalanche, about middle of the road. Harmony starting to turn already, or been turning. But so the next kind of thing that I wanted to touch on that subject of betting yourself is, you know, as far as the physical health, you know, how many of you guys watching out there do any kind of supplements, like, you know, not like vitamin supplements, but on top of that, I mean, there's a lot more than just vitamins out there. And, you know, I can only speak from personal experience. And I think holy crap, when was that? I think I started taking supplements like 20. Wow, is it really that long ago? Like on and off back in like 2012, but then probably about 2017, 2018, when just pretty much from then on, like never go without them since then. And it is absolutely amazing, the difference. And I know like it doesn't really mean anything to you since you can't actually see me, but I always have this funny thing where whenever I meet somebody and, you know, they ask like how old I am, and like it's my time to do this little questionnaire and do my little polling real quick. And so I always ask them like, all right, I'm just curious, just bear with me here. Like, how old do you think I am? And I have not had anybody be like remotely close for, I don't know, 5 years straight now. I mean, I'm talking like people generally guess about 10 years younger than I really am. And a lot of that is due in part to, you know, supplements that I've been taking for a while. And also, you know, trying to cut a lot of the nasty stuff out of the diet. You know, particularly like I stopped drinking pop years ago. You know, you try to cut back on a lot of the BS processed foods and things like that. Try to eat as much, you know, genuinely organic stuff as you can. Try to do some more fresh stuff, but by all means, I am not the best at it. I mean, I keep like 4 frozen pizzas in my freezer, like every time I go to the grocery store. And, you know, as much as I do better, like I feel like I at least balance it out a little bit, like finally quit smoking cigarettes. Oh, I don't know, a little over a year now. Yeah, maybe about a year ago. And so just, you know, just keeping doing little things at a time. And it absolutely does make a difference. Like at one point, I swear I was, I was around like right around 30, and I was looking 40 easily, like easily. It just, you know, started putting on a little bit extra weight. And at the time too, like had some radical life changes going on at the time, you know, bouncing back from a lot worse stuff. And so typically after going through stuff like that, you know, your body's going completely haywire with all the changes. So went from like, you know, being a lot lighter to putting on a little bit like too much weight. And then I'm like, all right, so, you know, started exercising more, started eating right, doing the supplements. And it was amazing how fast it turned around. Like, honestly, it still shocks me to this day. And I swear it looks like I haven't aged in 5 years. But, you know, I say all that just to say, you know, start off little. If anybody wants like some more information, I'm not going to be on here advertising because it's not like anybody's paying me for it. But if you do want to know some of the better brands and places to get supplements, let me know. Shoot me a message. You know, I'll tell you. I'll say this though, it absolutely matters the quality, because, you know, you go to like the grocery store or a friggin' dollar store or something like that, and you see all the little vitamins and supplements and all this stuff. Most of that stuff is complete garbage. You know, most of it is completely artificial. It's not nearly bioavailable enough, like to where your body doesn't even absorb like a portion of it, let alone all of it. And, you know, a lot of it just comes from these like powdered vitamins from China. It's, yeah, a lot of it's just garbage. But, you know, let me know if you would like to know more about that. And, you know, I'm kind of debating starting to do like little videos in between here and there, just talking about, you know, just getting better at life on top of, you know, all the trading stuff. Because I mean, like it really is so much, like so important, and it makes so much difference, like your mood, even the way you wake up in the morning. Like after the first time I did a legit like full on gut cleanse, you know, it was like 30 days straight, and I started noticing towards the end of that month, and then especially like a week or two after, for the first time in my life, I was waking up not being completely grumpy, not being an asshole after getting up. And it blew my mind, like absolutely astounding. And if there's a ton of science, if you look into gut health and how it affects the brain and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm not just talking out of my ass on this one. Look at Monero. Whoa. 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 The privacy coin's just killing it lately. Look at that. Killing it. While everybody else is slumping. Everybody else is sleeping. We're over here putting in 7.5s on Zcash. And then I didn't even know where to start from on Monero. I mean, it never even dipped. Just didn't even happen. You know, a lot of the same chilies. Do I don't, man. I don't even think I have Tron on here. Let's see. Bing X? I don't want no Bing X. The hell is that about? What do we have today? A little 20%er. All right, all right. You know, it's still playing catch up on the dip here, though, and it looks like it's got more to go. So I wouldn't go jumping on any Tron longs just yet. But it did have a decent day. What do we got? Anchor. Oh, sitting sideways. Near, not doing too much. You know, it's kind of interesting. Actually, I was talking to my mom earlier tonight, and I don't know where she came across. She came across something that was talking about like 10 cryptos that were like undervalued that are expected to go up in the near future. And I was surprised to see they had Near on the list. Like it was toward the bottom of the 10. It might have even been the last one, but was surprised to see that. Because I know I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. I know we've been pulling up the chart for weeks now. And I know, I think I first heard of it because I use Brave browser. When you start a new tab, it gives you like a little advertisement, you know, background picture. And I was seeing Near on there a bunch of times, but didn't think anything at first because it's always doing different like crypto company ads on there. But let's see, where are we at now? Have we done anything? Still coming up a little bit, but a lot of sideways-ishness. Yeah, that's it. But, you know, on top of just getting yourself healthier and, you know, just leveling up your life, on top of that, you know, there's a lot of craziness going on in the world. And I know a lot of people worried about inflation, worried about food shortages, all this stuff. I mean, even, you know, all the big banks and bankers are talking about it now. So, I mean, it's not a secret or anything. So I would just say, you know, always better to, you know, to be prepared for the worst, hope for the best. And it's very easy to do in certain areas, whether it be like food. Like the average household, at least in the US, has like an average of 3 days worth of food in their cupboards. And, you know, many places, particularly even more in like the, you know, bigger cities, urban areas, tend to often be less than that. And I know where I'm at, I'm sure it's less because I'm near a university. So you get a lot of college kids and they probably don't have jack in their kitchen. And I see, you know, so many Grubhub and Uber Eats cars running around, people getting stuff delivered. Like I've even heard of people who like order food delivery for like every single night dinner. I'm like, do you realize you're paying like double? Like that's insane. I mean, hey, if daddy gave you a credit card to buy food every night, like, I don't know, I'd be a little pissed if I were their daddy, but to each his own, I suppose. But, you know, with all that going on, and then you had all this stuff in the news recently with all these like food processing plants catching fire and being hit by planes and everything. And, you know, we've been seeing like little shortages of things at the grocery store for a while now, particularly after all the, you know, the COV stuff. And, you know, if at the very least, just buy extra when you go to the grocery store, you know, because it doesn't have to be like the end of the world for you to need, you know, a food stockpile. It could be anything from a tornado to just a really bad thunderstorm to, you know, even where I'm at, where they don't even really get snow. I mean, we lost power for like it was over a week. I barely remember, but I mean, you know, power was out for over a week, no stores, no nothing. And, you know, life comes at you fast. So better to be ready for it. But as for this picture right here with the Earth, and you can see the Earth's magnetic field right there. Again, I'm a bit of a science nerd, particularly when it comes to this stuff, because anything that interests me, I'll just go digging into it. But I'll say this, and if you want to know more, I'll point you in the right direction. So basically, the Earth's magnetic field has been weakening for a little while now. And if you're familiar with polar excursions, you know that the poles are heading toward you know, a polar flip. And on top of that, probably the sorry to say it, but the scariest thing of all is our place in the galaxy. So you have what's called the Parker spiral, which is the galactic sheet, which think of it as like a spiraling, rippling wave moving out from the center of the galaxy. Kind of like if you drop a pebble in a pond, you get the ripples going out. It's like that, but rather than concentric circles, it's spiral. Anyways, once the wave from that reaches, you know, a sun, it tends to pop off a micronova, is what is colloquially called. And actually, like NASA and the mainstream finally, just after dragging their damn feet for years, finally just admitted that micronova is a thing. So we've been years ahead of this, you know, on top of this subject. And it's not just me. I mean, there's people in every single organization you could think of around the world that all talk to each other, all work together. There's a big community of people who legitimately want to study and learn actual science without all the grant money bias, you know, without the mainstream narrative, without the establishment bullshit. And, you know, none of this stuff is new. There's plenty of papers, plenty of proof behind all of it. So if you want to know more, I'll point you in the right direction. There are some very, very, very good resources, particularly tied to the people who are actually there in these institutions who are doing it. So it's not just some fringe people on YouTube or anything like that. But, you know, EM field's weakening. And if you know anything about the solar cycles, right now we are ramping up. We're at the beginning of the solar maximum, where you get more and more sunspots as it goes on. Sunspots cause solar flares. Solar flares cause CMEs, along with, you know, plasma filament eruptions and things like that. But we actually just had the largest sunspot, was it a few days ago, that we've had since the previous solar cycle. And so the more the electromagnetic field weakens, the more we feel the effects of solar flares. So whereas it used to take like a X50 for it to knock the power out, you know, it might only take like an X20, 25 to start, you know, blowing up some transformers here and there. So, you know, watch the normalcy bias, because just because life has been chill, everything's been gravy for your whole life, doesn't guarantee that it will be. But all right, enough of that. If you know, if it's anything that you're interested in, or you want me to dig a little bit deeper into the subject, I know I've been studying it for quite some time now. Not saying I'm an expert or anything, but you know, I don't know, maybe I have a decent way of explaining it in layman's terms, and trying to tie it into why it's important as well. So it's just all these things, you know, you want to make yourself, you know, better at trading, like more healthy, more aware of the world around you. And the more prepared you are for various things, the less stress you have. You know, it's not about completely freaking out and being like John Goodman in the friggin' that movie where he's in the prepper bunker and he's a complete psycho. You know, it's not about being paranoid and scared. It's about having that little bit of preparedness so that you don't have to be scared, because the fact of the matter is, if anything like that happens, it's out of our control. You know, Serenity Prayer, just, you know, control what you can and leave the rest up to God, because there's nothing you can do about the weather or the climate or the solar system or any of that stuff. But at least if you know, have some preparedness, if you do get a wicked storm or a tornado, or if you're in hurricane country, you know, if you do get something like that, you're not part of that group that's freaking out and running to the grocery store trying to snatch up the last bit of bottled water before everybody else does, getting fights in the checkout line. You know, think ahead. That's all. You know, what's the worst case that happened? You got some bottled water sitting around in the garage or wherever that's taking up a little bit of space. I mean, you're going to use it anyways. You know, and then next time you go to the store and you just buy like you normally would and just start cycling it out, you know, watch the expiration dates and you're good to go. You know, if you want to get something that lasts a lot longer, you go hit up Patriot Supply or somebody, get that ready hour food. I mean, it's not bad. I've eaten it myself. It's, as far as that stuff goes, it's probably the best option. But looks like we're starting to come down a little bit. You know, we're getting that split as we head to the upside. A little bit of divergence on the momentum waves right there. Let's see if it, yep, right there, showing up on the smaller time frames. Let's see, looks like we could potentially, you know, maybe do something like that, put in a higher low. You know, looking over at the higher time frames, kind of seems like we might continue to the downside, but I think in the immediate short term, I don't know if we're necessarily going to see, you know, some more big dip just yet. But it could happen. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just, that's my guesstimation. But all right, I'm going to cut it that. Let me know what you thought. What's your opinion on the subject? Is it anything that you're into? Because I know I've been very, very happy to hear that a lot of other people in the crypto space are similarly minded on the subject. And a couple of the other bigger channels have actually like started talking about it on their channel. So, I mean, you know, everybody can read the writing on the wall. It's just whether or not you want to take action on the subject. But, you know, Debate Crypto had outstanding video with Crypto Face the other day. I highly recommend watching that. It was a really good one. You know, Debate Crypto's channel altogether, it's good stuff. I don't know him personally, but I could say, you know, there's some awesome dudes. Just, you could tell, you know, real recognize real. You can tell there's some good dudes. And even BitBoy over on his channel, Ben, doing outstanding work, starting to you know, diverge a little bit from the strictly crypto topic, and love what he's doing. You know, he's got the best platform to do it. So I'm so glad to see him using that platform to, you know, help out the community and spread the word a little bit. But all right, that's it for tonight. I hope to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think. You know, go watch that last video. Let me know what video series you would like to see coming up. You know, eventually going to get to them all, but if there's one you want to see before the others, just shout it out. Let me know. All right, remember, keep being a badass. Keep bettering yourself. Get healthy. Stay healthy. Keep your mind right. You know, doing all this stuff, trust me, it drastically changes your mood, your outlook, everything. You will be a much happier person. I mean, there's even supplements that will actually like help with mood, and I'm not talking about like CBD and stuff, which I don't know, I have no experience with it, so I can't really say on that subject. But let me know if you want to learn more, and you know, stay free. Later.